Hello and welcome back to another news video for Final Fantasy XIV with me, Meoni. Today, the 9th of February, the game got updated with a bunch of new hotfixes, and there's a page posted on the Lodestone if you can find it. It's one of the small bulletin posts. This is the actual page, in fact. I'll link it in the description, full of information on things that they have fixed. So let's go through this. First of all, your game client probably already patched this without even realizing it was such a small patch, but contained quite a few issues that people had wanted to be fixed. So first of all, the following issues have been addressed. They say the key item in the quest Unholy Matrimony could not be used, thus preventing the quest from progressing, so that's been fixed. In the cutscene of the quest, the journey continues. The facial expression of the NPC Seto was incorrect, so hopefully they fixed that, because that's quite a key part of the storyline towards the end of Shadowbringers, if you remember correctly. In the workshop of Island Sanctuary, the handicrafts might not be displayed correctly when the schedule is sorted by time required. I had noticed this, actually. It was a little bit jumbled, so at least that's going to look a little bit more, how it's supposed to. In the workshop of the Island Sanctuary, supply and demand were sometimes displaying contents from a previous cycle. I didn't notice that, but that's awful. In Island Sanctuary, the client might crash when talking to the NPC Creature Comforter. Oh, that's an interesting one. Not one I encountered, but that sounds like something that they needed to fix. Holy moly. The recast timers might not be displayed correctly for job actions with unique recast times, such as the Ninja PvE actions 10 and Chi. That was something a lot of people had noticed, and they weren't able to fix that prior to the release of 6.3. The actual abilities were fine. It was just how they were displayed with the recast timers, so that's been addressed finally. The effects for the action of Heavy Swing might not be displayed correctly when performed with Mandeville Axe equipped. I would have loved to have seen what that did, but sadly it's too late, but that's fixed. For the weapons that could be obtained from the Omega Protocol Ultimate, the icons for Arcanist and Summoner Weapon and the Scholar Weapon were switched. Yeah, this was a big thing. A lot of people were worried about buying the wrong item, basically. Upon clearing it in the World First Race, they were worried about picking the wrong item, but they fixed that by now. In Mount Ordeals and Mount Ordeals Extreme, which is the new 6.3 trial, the background graphics might not be displayed correctly when restarting under certain conditions. This I do know about. It wasn't displaying like a proper skybox. It was very strange, like stuck in a transition. So that's been fixed. I think it was mostly because of how that fight works and how the second phase of a fight, you see all that other stuff in the background. The fiery stuff. It wasn't resetting properly. In the Minstrel's Ballad Shinryu's domain, the target circle might not be displayed when targeting the Worm's Heart, preventing players from performing melee physical attacks. That's a weird one. Very interesting. In the Tower Paradigm's Breach, where the server was experiencing high load, the boss would sometimes disappear under certain conditions, make it impossible to progress. I haven't seen that, but that sounds like an absolute pain in the bottom, doesn't it? Holy moly. The graphics for Gaia's Attire was not displayed correctly. This is true. It says the fix will allow the character's skin color to show through a section of the equipment. So this was a big deal. A lot of people were upset about the fact that the Gaia Attire was a one piece, and then there were people even more upset the fact that if they had a darker skinned character, that that color was not being displayed, and instead you had a very white skinned sort of thing coming through the tights, which obviously didn't make sense when the rest of their character was a certain skin tone. As you can see in the game now, though, they have fixed this. I'm on my alt with the Gaia Attire with a very dark skinned character here, and it displays correctly, so that's really nice. It's definitely something a lot of people will want to equip now if they hadn't before and were put off by this. They have at least fixed it, which is really cool. It says under certain conditions the affected sections would not be displayed. Yeah, so it was very weird. When male or Ra equip the following gear, the graphics displayed are smaller. So this was affecting just a size difference in gear. This was for the Eden Call earrings, basically. Any of those were showing smaller for some reason on male or Ra specifically. So that's been fixed. It says when editing portraits for gear sets equipped with high quality items could not be applied to adventurer plates. That was a weird one. That's been fixed. When editing portraits of a class job of a gear set and a class job of the associated glamour plate are different, the glamour information for the portrait would not be reflected. Yeah, there's so many issues with the glamour system. They need to tighten it up, I think. I think most people will agree. Under certain conditions, the favourites registered in the mount guide and minion guide may disappear. A more minor thing, but quite annoying, because obviously you want to set your favourites, and if they're not going to display, what was the point in having them in the first place? So this has all been fixed. The big highlight for me, I think, is definitely the Gaia Attire. It's a shame that we didn't get that as separate pieces in the first place, but at least now it's accurate to the skin colour of your character, which is something. Anyway, let me know what you think about this update. What would you like to see changed? Is there something glaring that's missing from this list? Anyway, that's for the hotfixes for the 9th of February. Much love, enjoy the rest of your day, and I'll see you all next time. Bye-bye.